Welcome everyone to the live. We are going to be talking to some really awesome people today. We have Lianne and we have Patrick. Super excited to be talking to them. Just waiting for them to come on. Oh, Lianne, you are quick. You are quick. So we're just gonna get Lianne into the live here. Come on, and we're in a different room today, which is exciting. Hey!
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. 2 seconds.
No worries. Hey, Nikita.
Hopefully this works. Hold up. Is that...
Yeah, that's good.
Is this okay? I can't really... Hold up.
Amazing.
Okay. Yeah, okay, cool. How are you doing?
Awesome. Hey, Leslie, how's it going?
Hey!
So we'll just wait a couple minutes for people to roll in. But in the meantime, welcome to the Meet the Community series. It's a part of the Meet the Speaker series. So if you're not familiar with the Biz Mixer and what we do, we like to do these lives with our speakers. And this year we decided to do this with community members, so people that attended an event or are attending an event or awesome people that are in your networks, as a chance for you to sit down, get to know them, and learn more about them and their business. So today I have the lovely Lianne with me today, fashion designer, marketing communications alumni, caring about the environment and sustainability and fashion, and many other things, I'm sure. We talked about sneakers, which was awesome. But maybe you want to let people know that are on the live a little bit about you and what you do.
Yeah, there's a lot. I think you did a really good introduction. But yeah, like do I start on like the beginning of like where it all started or not yet?
If I gave you 30 seconds in an elevator, what would you tell people?
Oh, damn. Okay. The pressure's on. Okay. I guess I would say that I'm a designer, stylist, marketing creative, I guess. And wow, I'm doing a really bad job at selling myself right now. Pressure's on. Okay. Yeah, and I care about the environment and being able to make waste or turn waste into something that I would rather wear.
Yeah. No, you're doing so well. Like, first live, you're killing it. You're killing it. So,
Thank you.
you're welcome. So I know we had some opportunity to kind of connect, and I always like to tell the story of how I met people. So I literally have not met Lianne in real life yet, which is awesome. We met purely through social media and Instagram, and Lianne was actually one of the winners of our most recent giveaway to celebrate 500 followers. And we just got to talking in the DMs, and I learned what Lianne was doing and what she's doing in school and what she's doing in her business. And I'm like, you are a cool human being. And I think you should be a part of the Meet the Community series because you are awesome. And we got to have a 2-hour conversation today and what you're doing. And it's just great. It's great. It's great. So maybe what you could do is start us off by letting us know, like, you just graduated from your marketing communications program and you've recently started Repurpose Vintage. So tell us, like, how you started that, like what made you want to start a business, and I guess like why vintage, like what was
why my purpose?
Yeah, like
yeah, so it was like a whole journey. So yeah, it started like so last year I moved away out to like Amsterdam, and like living there I just like experienced something completely different. I've learned so much, not just about myself but like a different culture, a different environment, the way people were dressing, and I love that. I was super inspired by how they dress out there with their sneakers and like how they like put together outfits and everything. Let's be real, Toronto's not really like that yet.
No.
You know, we're on there. We're getting up there. But yeah, so like I was just really inspired by like their culture and everything. And I moved back to Toronto like about a year ago or so, and I was just like I just want to learn everything or try to learn as much as I can about myself, so that I can like, you know, live my purpose and live what I've always wanted to do. And then by doing research on myself and like understanding what I'm about, and stuff like that, I kind of learned a little bit about myself. Like when I was younger, I was like on the environmental team. I was always an athlete, like that's a given, always. And then I learned I was like I did really well in art, music, and like lots of the like creative side of things. And like, okay, I'm a Pisces, so I'm like, what's my really?
This is why we get along. I was like, I feel like you're
okay. That's crazy. Okay, sorry.
Your birthday,
March 6th.
February 23rd. Okay, we're like
okay, but still we're close.
This makes so much more sense. Okay.
Yes. So I was like, okay, like what is my creative thing? Like I'm a Pisces, like I know I don't believe it like 100%, but I think like it does give some hints about yourself in like some shape and form. So I was like really trying to figure out like what is my thing, what am I meant to do? Like that's something I was like driving me insane, especially because it's like my last year at university. I was like, I need to figure this out. Like, you know, like it's almost time. And so like, yeah, so I went on this whole journey of like understanding myself and what I'm about, what I'm passionate about. Learn about like my passion for the environment wasn't something that just like sprung up because of like the whole Greta movement, but it was always something that I cared about passionately. As a child, like I was on the environmental team. I was like a part of like a lot of initiatives at school when I was younger. That I completely forget about because like when you grow, like you kind of just forget about, I guess, your younger self and stuff. And so yeah, I was kind of like, okay, that's really interesting. Like I never really thought about that. And I remember like when I was younger, like there was this one time where what's it called? I like ripped my like tights in what was it, volleyball?
Yeah.
Because I was dope for the ball. Like, you know, you can't let it slip. So then, yeah, so like when I did that, I was like, okay, what do I do with these now? Like these were my favorite pair of tights. Like I don't want to just throw it away. And so I found like a t-shirt that I had. I cut off the sleeves, made it like a sleeveless tracksuit thing, made it into capris, and then used the logos from the pants onto like the shirt. So it was like a pocket and like a sleeveless thing with the tights. And I was like, okay, I could wear this now, you know, like not waste. So like I started to realize and find things like about myself that they were always there. I just never like understood it, or I never like looked into it really. And so like doing that deep digging into myself and understanding what I used to do and like how those things are still like a huge part of my life, helped me kind of go back into it again, and see what I can do. And then like I what's it called? Shout out to Belle and Jared because they threw out that what's it called? The sneaker event, you know? And that's what really like pushed me to just go, you know, because I went in like thinking like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do, and then I see all these materials and I'm like, oh my god, like what do I do with this? And I just got all excited and started doing things. I was like, oh, this is so much fun, like I love this. And it's like it just brought me into like my childhood memories of like arts and crafts again. And then like and so this is like my first thing. And then I was like, what else can I do? Like, I have so many clothes, like too many clothes. And like sneakers is like one of my biggest things. Like I'm a huge sneakerhead. And like I've been collecting shoes, but that's kind of hard because like caring about the environment means like, you know, you kind of have to think of ways of not like make it worse. And so what I've started doing is I haven't bought any shoes since like December or January. And I've been trying to cut down and only buy shoes that I really want, like be very like particular with it, because I can't just be like, you know what, I give up, I'm not buying any sneakers. I'm gonna try, but not making any promises. Uh, and so it's just like a bit of everything. I was kind of like figuring that out. And like with school finishing, I just wanted to do something for me. I've always wanted to work for myself. I just wasn't sure in what ways. Um, and then one of my good friends also was really like, you know, I need to start my business, and like he's telling me about his drive and everything, and I was like, oh my god, it's so inspiring. Like it just showed me that like you can do that too. Like it wasn't one of those things that were super far out of reach. So that's also what inspired me to just like go do it, just do it, you know?
Yeah.
So.
No, it's an awesome story, and I love when you were talking about like ripping your tights and using a t-shirt, and like that's how that repurposing and like recycling and upcycling in fashion, that your passion for the environment, sustainability really got into what you're doing with your business. I know we've talked a lot about business mentorship. How has that been for you, and how have you found mentorship to really help in growing your business and being around other entrepreneurs? Like, what has your journey been so far with that, and how has it kind of helped amplify what you're doing?
It's been like quite a journey actually, because I was always like, okay, like how do I find a mentor? Like how do I like get things started? And so I started going into like different networking events, just trying to like put myself out there. And like I actually met this one girl who really helped me, because that led me to work at a photo shoot, and then lead into like what's it called, a fashion show afterwards. And so it was just like one thing kind of led to the other. But it was all about like putting yourself out there. Like you got to be comfortable with like being okay with saying like, hey, like how can I work, how can I volunteer, how can I get there, how can I help you in some way, and just being, I guess, as open and putting yourself out there. Because if you don't, then like nothing will start the ball to get rolling. So like by like just putting yourself out there and just getting out there just opens so many more possibilities in the future. Whereas like if you kind of just sit in your room and be like, oh, I'm not gonna do anything, but I want this to happen, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
You got to do things to get the ball rolling, got to get things going in some way, shape, or form. And everyone has like different strategies of how they do it and stuff. But yeah, it was what has helped me is kind of just doing it and not thinking too much of it. You don't know unless you try. So
yeah, it's true. Like I think even for myself, when I was starting into the event planning industry, I volunteered a lot just to get the experience and build the right networks and the right. I think volunteering and mentorship sometimes is overlooked and underrated. That like
honestly, like so many people like kind of frown upon it. I'm like, it opens so many doors. You don't know who you're gonna meet. Like, and I'm not saying like do it just to like meet people, but it could also be a great experience that you never like expected either. Like I don't know, like for you, like what else have you done that has helped you kind of get the ball rolling, I guess?
Honestly, like hands down, the volunteering thing and meeting the right people. I think one moment for me was volunteering for Manifesto. So for those of you that are
cool.
Yeah. For
I've actually heard about them. Nice.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
It was amazing. So for those of you who don't know, in Toronto, there's a big festival called Manifesto, and they usually do a series of events with one big event at City Hall. That year that I volunteered, Chronics was the headliner. So that was an amazing experience, like 13 days of doing events, and everybody that was a part of that festival worked in events in some way. So with that, going into that situation, knowing that, hey, this is like a festival that I look up to, I'd really like to learn from those people that are able to execute a large scale event, and just being mindful of like, okay, I need to meet the people that are like running it, the people who also do events. And from that, just building the right connections and asking questions and being very open about, this is what I want to do for my business, and like I'm just looking to be connected with the right people. That led to the most like insane year of events, and being hired by my friends and being contracted to help out with Toronto Pride Week for different events. And it just opened up so many doors just by not only volunteering, but just making it known what your end goal is. And yeah, it was a really great experience. And I know like we talked today about goals, so maybe you can talk to us more about with Repurpose Vintage, what is your goal? And being a marketing and communication student, how do you feel like that's kind of helping you move towards your goal?
I think like not just that, but also like working retail for a while has kind of helped me learn the basics of like one, like running a store and like e-commerce and like a bunch of that. But also like I guess with marketing, it's helped me understand like how, let's say, a business account works versus a personal account.
Yeah.
Learning how to like implement certain strategies and stuff. So it's like I've learned a bit of everything.
Yeah.
So it's nice that like now I'm able to do my own thing with all the knowledge that I've learned. And now like I'm starting this new course with like Biz Mixer. Shout out to them. Like this is a really cool program.
Yeah.
Like I'm learning so much about like how to actually get it started, because I think before it was just like, okay, I have all this knowledge, like how do I like bring it together and understand like the basics and like understand more like the financial side of things too, because I feel like that was always something that I kind of struggled with. But it was like really helpful to like understand everything, and I'm still like early on, so I'm learning lots, but so far really good and I really enjoy it. So yeah.
Cool. Okay, so for those of you who are just joining, this is Lianne, amazing human being, founder of Repurpose Vintage, which is focused on sustainable fashion and like still making cool stuff, but not making waste. So yeah. So with that, can you talk to us more about like sustainable fashion? What can people do to be more sustainable in their decisions when they're thinking about fashion? Especially like there's always these camps about fast fashion and you know the earth is dying and like all of the climate change that's happening is because humans kind of suck. Maybe
facts.
Maybe you can give people on the live some ideas as to like how they can be more sustainable when it comes to their fashion and accessorizing. Maybe give them like 2 or 3 tips of like things that you do to kind of help be more sustainable.
I feel like there's a lot actually. Okay, I'll try to minimize it. Well, one is like trying to buy like locally or try to buy anything that is like secondhand or like thrift or like Value Village secondhand. Or even from like eBay or like Facebook marketplaces and stuff like that. Just because like by doing that, you eliminate like having to like a lot of bigger companies like, I don't know, H&M and like, I don't know, Forever 21, which is gone now. Like, sorry. Like it's I think like by like not shopping at like those big retailers, like you're able to like make a difference, because like they do like a lot of people think like, oh, like the marketplace or like the retailers depend on us as consumers, and it's kind of like the other way around, because if you're not shopping there, they gotta change their strategy, right? So like if you're able to like say like, no, I want like, let's say ethical brands, and you want like sustainable brands out there, like they're gonna be like, oh no, like we need to do something because something is like not going well. Like they realize that there's an issue. So by like stepping back and shopping other places, they gotta rethink their whole plan. So I think that's like an effort that all of us can make, and it's super simple. Like, I don't know, okay, not simple for everyone. At least for me, I find it like it's not too bad. Like I've always liked shopping at like thrift stores and stuff, because you find things that you wouldn't find everywhere else. It's like a little bit more unique. It's more like one of a kind. Like of course there's probably like millions of this one piece, but it's rare that you'll see someone else with the exact same thing. Honestly, so that's one.
The comments are hilarious. I don't know if you're reading them, but
I can't read right now. It's too far.
But we have some shout outs from the Hussey sisters. The Hussey sisters that do earrings. They said they love your idea. Mafuz is here, also a Pisces, so big ups to that. They're saying that the live is making them feel like they need to up their sneaker game. So Lianne actually has a full like bookshelf. So I got to see it this morning. It has a huge bookshelf of sneakers. So I had wrote down sneakerhead. So there's a lot of that in there. They're saying when Forever 21 is not forever. So for never 21. So like there's a bunch of comedians in the chat. So
I love it. I love it, guys. Keep it coming.
So you talked about as something that people can do. What's maybe one other thing that people can do to kind of?
Oh, sorry, I didn't finish. My bad. Sorry, I got like too excited with the comments. Yeah, I guess like another thing people can do is like, I guess this is not so much like fashion related, but like bring your own tote bag everywhere you go. Like, I don't know, for me, I was always raised in a sense that like always come prepared, always bring like your things. Like, for example, like I was always told like, you know, bring tissues. And I'm like, but I'm not sick. And then, you know, like I was like, why? And then like, you know, there's that odd case where, I don't know, something happens and you need a tissue or someone else needs a tissue. So like what I try to say with that is that like when you go into a store, a lot of stores try to like offer you like a plastic bag, or like other kinds of bags and stuff like that. But if you can already bring your own tote bag, then you can just like refuse that and just be like, hey, I don't mind putting it into like my tote bag and like walking away with it. And it's just like, it's a little thing, but it's like, it's the little things that kind of add up. And like, I guess like another thing would be like thinking about like whether or not you really need that thing.
Yeah.
Because sometimes like I know like even myself, like before I used to always like, I just buy instantly. And not think it through. And I'm like, do I really need this? Like now I think about it like 3 times. With sneakers it's hard because like if you miss it, it's gone. Like you can't just be like, oh, let me think about it. Next day it's gone. Like few hours it's gone. Like so I guess for me it's been like, especially like knowing when drops are gonna happen, I like think about it for like a few weeks and I'm like, do I need this? Don't I have too many? And like just thinking about it that way instead of being like, oh, I need this, I need that, and then because then like you end up with so many that you don't even end up like using. And then like it creates a waste. Like I have clothes in my room that I have never really used, or it's just been there. And that's why I'm kind of like, okay, what can I do to it so that I can wear it? Or like, what can I do? Can I give it to like a friend who would love to wear it? Or can I resell it? Or like, is there something I could do with it? Instead of like, donating it to like, for example, like I know H&M has this whole program, and like I was doing a bit of research and I saw that like they don't actually they don't actually reuse it the way they say they will. So like I don't know if you guys saw, but there's like a CBC investigation where they go behind the scenes and like try to uncover where H&M's clothing actually goes. And they found that like Africa and Southeast Asia, where basically they like dump it. Oh, can you hear me? Is it freezing? No. Is it good? Is it freezing? Hello? I feel like it's freezing. Oh, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, are we good?
I think we're good. Hold up. So basically that clothing ends up in like all these third world countries, and basically what they do with it is that they sell it to a third party, which gets rid of it in other countries. And like that isn't exactly what they claim when they're like marketing this whole thing. They say like, you know, give your clothes, we'll give you a discount on your next purchase. And we'll use that clothes to make new clothes for H&M and stuff like that. And like, although it seems like glamorous and stuff, like it's made me like question everything in terms of like sustainability and what big brands are doing, because like I find that they're doing it too quickly. Like how do you just change your whole like thing quickly, like nothing happened? Like, you know, it makes me question everything now. Because that investigation just like exposed everything of how they do their whole thing. And so I was just kind of like, that was like, it kind of hurt a little bit, because like these clothes end up in third world countries and then they end up burning it, which releases toxins into the environment, because they sell it into like local markets, and if the local markets can't sell it, they burn it, because like what else are they going to do with it, right? So that for me was like a little bit shocking, because I was like, oh wow, like what if we could just do something with that so that it doesn't get to that point of in like other countries and ends up in like landfills and releasing toxins into the environment. So that for me like was like, okay, like I need to do something, because like for me, I've always wanted to make an impact in some way, shape, or form. Like that's always been something I've always wanted to do. So with this, like I know it's like not the biggest thing, but it's a start into the right direction. And like it all starts with something, right? Like now I'm at my early stages and it's the start of something new for me. But you don't know, in like 10 years, maybe like, you know, I'll save so many clothing pieces from ending up in like landfills and stuff, you know? So that was like my main purpose or reason for starting all this. So yeah.
Cool. So wow, I think like you've changed my perspective on like fast fashion, and like I didn't even know about that study. So like that's awesome. You're giving some really great tips. So at the end of our segment, if there's any questions, feel free to put them in the question box at the bottom. Question about how often do you wear all your shoes? And can you hear me?
Yeah. No, I was just like, I'm trying to think. Well, since it's quarantine, not really.
Okay.
But like during like when I have school or when I have work or whatever, like I always find excuses to wear them. Cause like before I wouldn't, I just would store them for a while. My parents would always be like, so when are you gonna wear them? You're just gonna let them sit there and get dust? So, you know, I was just like,
you just tell them you're
okay, fine. They don't understand. But anyways, so I was like, fine, like I'm gonna start wearing it. So I started wearing it. I'm very cautious of when I wear them, but I do try to wear them all like at some point. I've worn all of my shoes at one point, so yeah, there's that. Any other questions?
Yeah, it looks like we have another question coming in. So let's take a look and see. Where is your favorite place to thrift? And do you think thrift stores will be open again after the Rona?
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like a lot of thrift stores are like opening up right now. I know a few said that they're gonna start opening up by Friday, so that's like a start. What was the other, the beginning of the question? Sorry.
And do you think things will be open up? So you answered the question about thrift stores opening up at the end of the week. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite thrift store?
I heard Friday for like two of them that I follow. They said Friday, and I was like, that's soon, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, a few thrift stores I like to go to, like Value Village or what else? Salvation Army, or like they're more of like the bigger ones. But you always find like hidden gems there. I know there's a few that recently started as well, like A1. Shout out to him. He has really cool pieces. But his is more like an online shop, so you can just like order, like buy whenever.
Yeah.
And there's like another one called like Street Culture that is like also located in Toronto, which is pretty dope. What else? There's
That's
a
lot. That's a lot of
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot.
Oh my gosh.
But also like depends on what you want. Like if you want like if you're kind of open to everything, I think Value Village like covers pretty much anything.
Yeah.
If you want more like streetwear specific things, like those two that I mentioned are a little bit better. because they're a little bit more specific, but also like Kensington Market, like they're great. They have like everything. Yeah, it's funny. Last time I was in Kensington Market, I was like, I'm not getting anything. And then I left with like a few things.
All the things. All the things.
Pretty much.
Right. So before we wrap up, can you show us a couple pieces? So I know you showed me that like you used to cross stitch. So can you show us a cross stitch? And
okay,
that
give me 2 seconds.
The hat that you have in the back is like my favorite hat and probably why we're friends now. So I want to see too.
Don't worry, I can make you one. Yeah, so this is what like cross stitch is. I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is where it kind of started for me when I was younger. It was kind of like doing a lot of like cross stitch this and then like I'm wearing one right now, which is like this shirt. I use like my Nike tights to kind of like make the sleeves and everything on this, like, and then these were my first like sneakers that I made that I was kind of like talking about, where it kind of all started. Let me see, can you see it?
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to do like a top 3 kind of thing where the colors mix and match, but like they're not exactly the same. So yeah.
I love that.
Sorry?
I said I love that. And then the hat.
Yeah, and then the hat.
Put it on. Can you put it on real quick?
Yeah, I got it.
This hat is amazing. It's a bucket hat that has a pearl, like, yes. Yeah. Yeah. So awesome. So there's a last question about your thrifting strategy. So if maybe you want to give us your #1 tip for how to thrift, and then we want another lovely guest on after.
Okay, how to thrift? Oof, that's tough.
But top #1 piece of advice for thrifting.
Budget lots of time before you go. You will spend a whole day or maybe weeks. Like just budget enough time, because I feel like I'm just like, oh, I'm just gonna go for a quick few minutes, and then I'm like still going through everything.
3 hours later.
Sorry? Yeah, honestly.
3 hours later.
Yeah. Any more questions? Was that about it?
That's about it. Mafuz is asking if he can rock your hat for his next keynote.
Sure, why not?
That too. And a lot of people are saying very dope. They need a hat from you. So on that note, tell people how they can find you and how we can support you.
Yeah, of course. You can find me at Repurpose Vintage, RUPURPUS Vintage, just to clarify. And yeah, like I'm gonna start putting a few of my pieces on Depop and stuff under the same name. It's a start. Still working on a website and everything, so stay tuned. Lots to come. Well, again, thanks for having me, by the way. This is really nice. Positive vibes. I loved it.
Right? Okay, so first live, great time, right?
Good yes, time. It wasn't too bad.
No, you were amazing.
It kind of felt like we were just FaceTiming, so it wasn't too bad.
So before we leave, let us know one thing that you're excited about for the May 30th event, especially because you won tickets. Like, what are you excited about?
I'm excited to just like learn more. Like, I'm such a nerd, but I love learning new things and just like meeting new people. I heard there's gonna be some like really good music, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm just excited to like go to one of your events because you seem like a dope person. So yeah.
Oh, hearts for you, Lianne. Amazing. Thank you so much for coming on the live. This was super fun. You definitely have to.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
it was really nice.
So on that note, we're gonna say bye to the lovely Lianne. Follow her at Repurpose Vintage. If you look at our last post, you'll find her page, and we're gonna have the lovely Patrick on next. So we're gonna see you soon. Bye, Lianne.
See you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So Patrick, if you can request to come on, and Lianne, we'll see you soon.
See you.
Amazing. That was super awesome. Okay, so I'm super excited for our next speaker.